Hello. My name is Quatechiacreates and you are watching Quatechiacreates. In today's video, I will be showing you how I make my epoxy-free glitter tumblers. So, I've been making glitter tumblers for about 3.5 years now, and my process has changed quite a bit. But one thing that has not changed is I do prepare all of my tumblers by first sanding them and then going in with a base coat. I like to use sanding blocks. I purchased this from Amazon. I'll leave the link down in the description box. Now, there has been much debate on whether this is a necessary step versus an unnecessary step, but hey, I do it anyway. I don't know, it's just a habit at this point. So we are going to base paint our tumbler using this universal white paint from the Crystalac company. Now I like to store some of my paint into one of these handy dandy condiment cups that I purchased from Walmart, just to kind of decrease the amount of times that I'm dipping in and out of the actual container. Frequent exposure to air will cause clumps, so you'll see me kind of dealing with that as I am painting my first layer onto the tumbler. With my first coat of universal white, I like to paint it on in a vertical fashion. You're going to use very thin strokes. Now once that first layer is dry, I go in with a second coat and I paint the second coat in a horizontal direction. The paintbrush that I am using is actually a makeup brush it's the Wet n Wild brand. I purchased it from Dollar Tree, however it is really hard to find these days, so I will leave a link down to the brush in the description box. Once this layer is dry, you're going to go in with a third layer of paint, and I apply the third layer in a vertical direction like the first layer, and I allow the tumbler to dry for 2 hours, and then I was ready to go in with my glitter glue. You can use whatever you choose to use, but I like to apply my glitter using glitter glue for most of my tumblers. With the glitter glue, it is much like Mod Podge. It's a little bit watery than Mod Podge, but you're going to apply it all over the tumbler and be certain to remove like all streaks, like work them out, and you don't want big clumps of glue on your tumbler, because clumps of glue will result in clumps of glitter on your tumbler, and nobody wants that. That is not cute. You do have to work fast with the glitter glue because it also dries pretty fast. Once I finish coating my tumbler with the glitter glue that I purchased from the Crystalac company, I'm going to go in with my favorite white of all times. This is Diamonds from the Glitter Heart company. I do have a link down in the description box, as well as a coupon code where you can save 10%. Y'all don't be scared to click those links in my description box. It's not going to charge you any extra money. It's just going to help me, and it's going to help support my channel. I get like pennies on the dollar that you spend. Okay, that's it. That's all. So continue applying your glitter. You want to fill in all of the empty spots. You want glitter all over your tumbler. It's going to be gorgeous. And then you're just going to shake off the excess glitter and allow it to dry for about 2 hours. After the 2 hours, I did decide to go in and do a second layer of glitter. So here I am applying a very generous amount of glitter glue, because you're going to need more glitter glue to go on top of the glitter, because now your glitter glue has to soak through your glitter and, you know, all that goodness. Then I'm going to work it in the entire tumbler. I want to be careful not to disturb my glitter. So I am trying to make sure that I'm not touching the dry glitter with a dry brush. Once you've applied that layer of glitter glue, you can go in with your second layer of glitter, and you're just going to apply that in a similar fashion to how you applied the first layer. After about 2 hours of dry time, I went in with another layer of glitter glue, but with this layer of glitter glue, I'm going to be using this to seal in my glitter. When I first started making the epoxy-free tumblers, this is a step that I skipped, and I did later find that it was beneficial to sealing your glitter, because sealing the glitter, not only does it stop the glitter from moving all over the place, but it actually results in you having to use less product to seal in everything, like your top coat. Once my tumbler has dried for at least 2 hours, I am ready to start my layers of Grand Finale. Grand Finale is a water-based product created by the Crystalac company. You can apply this onto your tumbler every 2 hours. For my first couple coats, I like to use a generous amount. The recommendations that I've seen hasn't worked for me, but this is what works for me. And I have measured it out in the past. So on the first couple of layers, I am using about 5 milliliters of Grand Finale. And it's going to be different based on the type of tumbler you're working with, whether you're using fine glitter, chunky glitter, all that good stuff. But this is fine glitter, and I use about 5 mLs of the Grand Finale on my first couple of layers. And this is what the tumbler looks like after 4 coats of Grand Finale. You can see that it's now like developing a nice shine to it, but it's still got quite a bit of texture to it. So I'm going to go in with 2 additional layers of the Grand Finale applied 2 hours apart. Now with the Grand Finale, you don't have to mix anything, like it's just one solution that you use. The only thing you have to do, which I haven't shown, but I like to shake my bottle. So it didn't come in this bottle, it came in a gallon container, and I poured some into this condiment bottle just to make it easier to use and so that it didn't take up so much space in my craft area. And this is what our tumbler looks like after 6 coats of Grand Finale. Pretty shiny, it's got a good coat on it, but you can still see some texture. So now we're going to go in with our very first sand. Whenever sanding, you want to make sure that you're using the proper PPE, which is going to be some gloves and a respirator mask or some kind of mask that's protecting your face. The fumes from the Grand Finale are not toxic or they're not harmful like some products such as epoxy is. However, when you are sanding it, it can create some dust, and dust is not good for anybody's lungs. So just make sure that you're well protected when you are doing this. I'm also doing this outside. That's why the color looks a little different. I am using a 400 grit sanding block that I purchased off of Amazon, and I will be sure to leave the link down below. After sanding the tumbler, I do make sure to also get the rim of the tumbler because I like to expose a thin line of stainless steel, because I feel like that's really the only way that I'm going to know that all of my glitter, my entire design, and all of that is sealed in, because my Grand Finale or my top coat actually has something to seal to. Does that make sense? Let me know if it doesn't. Just comment down in the comment section and I'll try to explain it better. When sanding, do make sure that you get the entire tumbler, so top to bottom, side to side, especially with this first sand. After I sanded my tumbler, I did clean it with some Dawn dish soap and water, and then I applied 2 additional coats of Grand Finale and sanded again. So this is my third sand. This is after my third sanding, and I always clean it with Dawn dish soap and water after I complete a sanding. Now I'm going to use some painter's tape, but I'm just applying this down as like a guide because I have a straight piece in my design that I'll be using. Now after putting down this painter's tape and pulling it up several times, I was ready to apply my decal. This decal, not sure where I got it from. I will figure it out and leave the link down in the description box. I did get this really pretty pattern vinyl from Amazon, I believe. Don't quote me. Just check the description box. I feel like I got it from Amazon. If you guys want a more detailed or thorough tutorial on how I cut, or how I cut my adhesive decals and how I layer them, then I will do that. Just let me know. Just comment down below and let me know that you need that type of information. Now I did want to leave this part in. I was going to edit it out, but I feel like it's just only fitting for you guys to see that even those of us that have been, making tumblers for a while or a few years, we still make mistakes. And I just want to encourage you to, if you don't like the way something's turned out, like, don't get discouraged that you're having issues. Just keep going if it's something that you're really interested in, or it's something that you enjoy doing. Like, perfectly imperfect, I love it, because child, ain't nobody perfect. Now once I apply my decal, I go right into applying my Grand Finale, and I like to put at least 4 to 6 coats of Grand Finale on top of my decal before I go in with my first sand after the decal. And this is the way that I like to apply my Grand Finale. I typically will do like a line down the tumbler on whatever side and kind of rub it in first, and then I start to smooth it out as you see me doing here. You don't want to overwork it, more so because it dries pretty fast. So I let it spin a couple of times and then I'll just leave it alone. But you also don't want to have too much on there because you can end up with streaks on your tumbler. So after about 4 coats on top of the decal, I am ready for my first sand. I've already sanded it at this point actually. So it's been sanded with a 400 grit sanding block. I'm also inspecting my rim, making sure that I have that small line of stainless steel visible, so that I am confident that I am creating a good seal on my tumbler. Now after sanding, I'm going to go in with 4 additional coats. Remember, they are applied at least 2 hours apart, and then I went in with another sand and applied 4 more coats. So it ended up being a total of 12 coats of Grand Finale on top of the decal and 6 to 8 coats before the decal, for a total of 20 coats of Grand Finale to complete this tumbler. But yeah, this is how it turned out. I absolutely love it so much. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment down below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and share it with a friend. Until next time, bye bye.